It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for the invite.
Now that the European Parliament has voted pro-visa liberalization for Kosovo, are we getting close to move freely in Europe?
Yes, obviously you're getting closer and closer. After, first of all, the fulfillment of the criteria by the Republic of Kosovo, I was more than happy when, short before Easter this year, you decided on the border issue, and then the European Commission also approved the fulfillment of the criteria of rule of law development, which still has to develop, of course, but criteria are fulfilled. And so the decision was up to the Parliament, and the plenary of European Parliament voted last week with a large majority, 420 votes, in favor of visa liberalization to 186 votes against. And now the ball, so to speak, is in the field of the member states. The member states of European Union have to vote, and if they will vote with a majority in favor of visa liberalization, after years of work on that, visa liberalization will be effected. I look forward to that, and I try to convince the representatives of the member states, also when I met them here in Pristina the last days, in order to follow the decision of the Parliament to be in favor of visa liberalization. What I've learned in Parliament is that some members from different European member states are wondering whether maybe a large number of new visa applications, sorry, not visum applications, but asylum applications would come about when Kosovo receives visa liberalization. And I really provide them with the Austrian example, where the number of asylum applications from Kosovo has decreased a lot since a mutual understanding between the governments, and since people of Kosovo more and more know, not only in Austria, but nowhere in the European Union would be a chance for asylum, because Kosovo is a secure state. It's a 10 years old republic with all its challenges, but nevertheless a secure state where you cannot leave and receive asylum in any other country within the European Union. So I also have to provide this message for the citizens of Kosovo, and I provide my colleagues in the various member states of European Union that they don't have to be afraid of asylum seekers from Kosovo due to visa liberalization, because visa liberalization is needed for jobs, for economic growth, for business relations, of course also for visiting family and friends. But once visa liberalization will be effected, like it's already the case in the other 5 Western Balkan states, there will be a lot of business opportunities even easier because the world, so to speak, will come closer to Kosovo, and it will be easier to negotiate, find mutual interests in production, in services, in trading. And that's why visa liberalization is really important for future jobs and future wealth of Kosovo. And that's again also in the interest of whole Europe, that Kosovo is stable, is becoming more and more wealthy, and will have a good economic situation. And that's why visa liberalization is so important.
Has Kosovo fulfilled all the conditions for visa liberalization? I think, for example, like fighting crime and corruption.
Well, fighting crime and corruption is an ongoing process, not only in Kosovo, but in each and every country in the world, as well as developing rule of law, developing democracy. It's an ongoing process in each and every country, in each and every system in the world. And the criteria for the Republic of Kosovo were pretty much. And there were a lot of criteria, a large number of them, and the European Commission has approved the fulfillment, which I congratulate Kosovo and the Kosovo citizens on, first of all. And secondly, of course, a lot still has to be done, and that's also we want to encourage the Republic of Kosovo. The Joint Parliamentary Assembly has taken place in Pristina, which is the assembly of the Kosovo Parliament together with the European Parliament, which takes place twice a year. And the outcome of this assembly was much better, frankly, than the outcome the assembly of a little more than half a year ago. because we decided with majorities on a joint common paper in the end on the crucial issues of our time, and of course rule of law play a crucial role. I always want to encourage citizens of Kosovo to have confidence in their own system, which doesn't mean you have to like each and everything that happens in your system, but I really want to encourage all citizens of Kosovo to get involved in their own system and to get engaged in politics, in civil society, in media, in business, of course, but in all parts of society in order to strengthen this new state. And I just can only share the example of my home country, Austria. The first time Austria tried to found a republic is exactly 100 years ago, and we failed. We have to really admit that we failed in founding a republic, and Kosovo after 10 years is in a much better shape than Austria was after 10 years. And in the case of Austria, after failing because of a lack of confidence of people, in Austria terrible crimes followed, and Austrians became criminals in terrible, ideologically sick times afterwards. And I really wish Kosovo that nothing like that happens, and you're in a good path. And I really have the opinion that the people of Kosovo deserve a good state, and the good state is not created by the outside primarily, it's created from inside, and it's created not top down, but it's created bottom up. And that's why I want really to encourage the Kosovo people to get involved in their own system. I'm more than happy that I did not only meet with elected officials and government officials in Kosovo this time and also other times, but I also met other times and this time with civil society representatives, NGO representatives. There are so many people who are engaged and who want to engage and who want to build up their country, so please do it together. We have a lot of friends in the world, like Austria, like the European Parliament, and a lot of other friends who want to help you, but friends can open the door, so to speak, but you yourself have always to go through that door. And I experienced that a lot of Kosovo citizens do that every day, and I want to encourage them to follow up with that, and I want to encourage all the others also to get engaged. This will build up your state to a really successful state.
If everything goes fine, do you think that Kosovan people can move freely in the Schengen area by the end of the year? This year?
There is not yet time and date fixed for the mentioned votes in the member states, in the council, but I would not, each and every, let's say it that way, each and every official who would promise that it would happen already this year, I would be suspicious on that, because nobody can know today. We work on that, I work on that, others, friends work on that, to talk towards the member states, to provide arguments for visa liberalization, but we don't yet know when member states will be ready to vote with the sufficient majority in favor of visa liberalization. So we don't know yet, but we work hard on that. I have said for years that the thing was up to the Republic of Kosovo, and since March it's fulfilled in Kosovo. All the decisions and criteria are fulfilled, and now it's up to European Union, and the European Union has done, let's say, 2/3 of the path. The Commission approved the fulfillment of the criteria. The Parliament voted in favor of visa liberalization. These were the first 2 steps, and the next and last 3rd step will be the decision of the member states. Time and date are not yet fixed, but I will be very, very happy when it's fixed and when the vote outcome will be good.
In the state of play, what are the next steps Kosovo should take in order to get more close to European integration?
Well, rule of law will always play a crucial role. As already mentioned, the separation of powers, so that there is a legislative power who makes the law, there's a government power who runs the administration, and there is a jurisdiction where courts are present and rule of law is affected. It's very, very important to lift this separation of power and to develop it, and it also has to be developed in Austria and in all countries in the world. Kosovo also has to develop it, and to develop it means to demand as a citizen that a court is doing its work proper and in proper time, and to get engaged and not to feel oneself as not be able to act or to react on anything, but to feel as a citizen, to be active and to be empowered, to demand from the administration that it works, to demand from the courts that they work, to demand from the legislators that they do their work, which I have experienced over all the parties in Kosovo parliament pretty well last days. So I really appreciate how they work together today and how really reasonable they are working. So to demand all of that as a citizen and to get involved oneself is very, very important and is part of building up this state, and that's a very important step towards European integration for Kosovo. And of course to strengthen the strengths, so to stick on education. And I really appreciate that many young people in Kosovo do that already. They are active in the field of media, but also in the field of software engineering, software architecture. There are large Austrian companies which really count on young people in Kosovo who do software engineering, programming for them. And this could become even more. I have a vision for Kosovo, but even more important is that the Kosovo people themselves have a vision for Kosovo. But I want to provide you with an idea for your own vision, and one idea for your own vision for your country is to become, let's say, the Silicon Valley of Europe. Silicon Valley, you know, is, as we all know, in America, the place where all the digital innovation takes place. Okay, in Kosovo there are self-educated, very young people, youngest average age, and they are interested in software engineering, they are successful in this field. So why wouldn't they be able to create, let's say, the Silicon Valley of Europe, or better to say, in some decades one would say, oh, the Silicon Valley once was the Kosovo of America, because that day people will say Kosovo is the innovation place in the digital era of Europe. Wouldn't that be a great vision for Kosovo? You need positive visions too. We have to solve so many problems and there are so many issues open. And of course, your neighborhood is not easy, and it's not always easy to deal peacefully, but you have to. I really encourage you to do that. But beside all these, let's say, solving of problems questions, we also have to create positive, optimistic future outlooks. And visions like that are pretty on the ground, because they mean jobs and future perspectives and wealth. And this means then better education, better health system, and all that comes along with that. And that's why I really encourage you not to only solve problems, but to create ideas and visions for the future.
How do you see the political situation in Kosovo right now? Or what do you think about the idea of exchanging the territories?
Well, my first impression was, after hearing about that proposal, that in the past, as far as I know, changing of borders were part of the problems in the Balkans, not part of the solutions. But my second impression was, I do not have the right to influence from the outside and to say what should be on the agenda of talks between neighbor countries here. I can share my opinion. My opinion is there are many topics even more important, like not only dialogue but interaction and mutual understanding in many fields, in business, education, healthcare and other fields. And I can share my opinion that in the past border changes were part of problems, not part of solutions. But I don't want to act paternalistically or imposing from the outside what's on the agenda. But I can only ask all involved sides and all involved persons in order to stick to the more important questions for the people and for life standards of people and for life opportunities of regular citizens. That's my opinion on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mandl. It was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for your interest and your time.